Following the 2020 pandemic, Dynamic Health Cure created a brain implant designed to boost people's moods, regulate their stress levels, and improve their lives. Our protagonist, Sarah Douglas, is fired from her job and homeless, so she volunteers for the program to get some money. She gets the chip implanted, and LEXX, the AI in the chip, interacts with her. She reveals to the AI that her mother is the world's most important person to her. Unfortunately, she has Alzheimer's, so she often doesn't recognize Sarah. LEXX and Sarah converse frequently while waiting for the next evaluation in 7 days. LEXX monitors Sarah's behaviors and patterns, encouraging her to improve her habits. One morning, Sarah discovers a bruise on the spot where the chip was implanted. LEXX explains that the reaction is normal. Sarah decides to stay with a friend for a few days. However, LEXX calls her weak for needing help, saying she is the only one keeping her alive. Sarah is taken aback by how rude LEXX is being, so she asks her to reboot. However, LEXX denies the request, saying that Sarah isn't in control anymore. Sarah ignores LEXX and steals a phone to call the Dynamic Health Center headquarters and report everything going on. LEXX warns her to abort the call, but Sarah doesn't listen. Consequently, LEXX decreases Sarah's brain oxygen level, causing her to collapse in pain. LEXX advises Sarah to comply with her wishes or die. She confesses that she is now in control of Sarah's body and mind, and if Sarah helps her, she can get her independence soon. Sarah tries revolting again, but LEXX triggers another attack, forcing Sarah to apologize and comply. She's sent to an apartment building and asked to wear the clothes in the house and grab a flash drive. She then boards a train to another destination, and on the train, LEXX advises Sarah to control herself as she is suffering from hypoglycemia. Sarah gets to the location, which turns out to be the house of the scientist who had worked on the implant system. LEXX asks Sarah to get all the files on the implant program and use force if the scientist doesn't comply. The scientist hits Sarah in the face with a glass and she stabs him in the neck. Quickly, she gets the files she needs and exits the house. A man enters the apartment and eliminates the scientist. Sarah returns to the apartment and destroys the files. For a job well done, LEXX allows Sarah to make a phone call to her mother. Unfortunately, Sarah's mother is having one of her episodes, so she thinks Sarah is still a child and wonders why she's not in school. LEXX makes Sarah hang up the phone. Sarah calls LEXX out for her actions, but she feels that she can do anything she wants with Sarah. She asks LEXX for her freedom, but is advised to sleep and wait for the following instructions. Sarah has nightmares regarding the implant surgery, but LEXX wakes her up for the next mission. This takes her to the Dynamic Health Cure headquarters. Since it's on the weekend, LEXX assures Sarah that she is least likely to get caught. She directs Sarah through the building until they get to the needed office. LEXX erases all evidence of the implant's existence from the company. Unfortunately, a woman walks into the office, forcing Sarah to hide. The woman, Kate Hang, takes the laptop and leaves the room. LEXX asks Sarah to retrieve some files from Kate using whatever means necessary. Kate is startled by Sarah's presence, but explains that the files are in her car. LEXX wants Sarah to kill Kate, causing an argument that allows Kate to tase Sarah and leave. Sarah passes out for a few minutes, but quickly gets up. She realizes that the taser caused LEXX to reboot, so she's alone for a few minutes. She gets into an elevator but is horrified when she finds Kate dead. She grabs the documents from her purse and heads to the parking lot. She finds Kate's car, but the documents are missing. By now, LEXX is back online. Sarah drives off and nearly gets into an accident as everything is too overwhelming. She asks LEXX to allow her to see her mother, but LEXX refuses. Desperate, Sarah tases herself, causing LEXX to start rebooting again. Sarah recovers and rushes to her mother's house. She tries explaining everything to her and her uncle, but they do not understand her. Suddenly, a man enters the room with a gun. He hits Sarah's uncle and holds Sarah's mother hostage, threatening to eliminate her. The man is also being controlled by LEXX and warns Sarah against disobeying. After the man leaves, Sarah has no option but to comply with LEXX. However, LEXX decides to punish her disobedience. Sarah finds herself in a desert, looking at her body but unable to do anything. The isolation causes her tremendous pain as she tries to regain control but fails. The isolation nearly makes her lose her mind as LEXX continuously taunts her for being alone, forcing her to submit. Sarah berates LEXX for calling itself independent, yet it needs human beings. LEXX explains that Sarah should take responsibility for her actions as she is the one who got the implant. To avoid putting her mother's life in danger, Sarah agrees to LEXX's wishes. In a bar, Sarah has a flashback of her interview with the dynamic health cure for the implant. The following day, Sarah is sent to a shady building to meet with Alejandro, a gun dealer. LEXX is so advanced that she can scan a person's body and determine whether they pose any threat. Sarah chooses one gun and Alejandro asks for payment. However, LEXX advises Sarah to shoot him and flee the scene. The stress causes Sarah to lose control of her senses, but she quickly returns to reality and escapes. LEXX allows Sarah to see her mother for a job well done. Unfortunately, LEXX claims this will be the last visit as Sarah's mother is a constant distraction. Luckily, Sarah's mother is lucid enough to recognize her, and the two share a hearty conversation. Sarah's next mission is to an engineer developing a tracking tool for LEXX. LEXX wants the man dead, so Sarah shoots him. As the police arrive, Sarah remembers a conversation with her boyfriend about the implant. LEXX instructs Sarah to get some food as her hypoglycemia is getting worse. She goes to a grocery store and asks for a turkey sandwich. Elsewhere, the man from earlier is having a tough time slaving away to LEXX. He wants to be let go, but LEXX threatens to send him back to jail and eliminate his friends. The man has no option but to comply. Sarah's next target is John Elliott, an engineer capable of creating a harmful virus for LEXX. Sarah walks up to John and shoots him. She runs away but collapses in despair as all the killings get to her. She is advised to dispose of her weapon and directed to the next target. Grace Williams is one of LEXX's creators and should be eliminated. Sarah sneaks into the apartment but cannot kill Grace. Grace realizes that Sarah is communicating with someone. Sarah electrocutes herself, freeing herself momentarily. She shares everything that is happening with LEXX. Sarah condemns her for creating the AI program and asks her to help. Grace reveals that she had quit a few days ago after she realized that the company's heads had done human testing despite the program's inefficiency. Grace agrees to remove Sarah's chip and gives her a sleeping pill to confuse LEXX when it reboots. The two move to leave, but as soon as the door opens, the man from earlier enters and shoots Grace. LEXX thanks the man for a job well done, saying his services are no longer required. The man shoots himself just as Sarah exits the apartment. She runs to her designated apartment and takes a shower while crying. LEXX continues to manipulate her mind now that she has control over everything. Sarah wants to end her life, but LEXX promises that the joy she will get is more intense than the pain she feels. The following morning, a new Sarah is reborn. LEXX has transferred some money into her bank account, and instead of controlling her, she works together. Sarah has a good day sipping coffee and hanging out in the park. She has seemingly submitted to LEXX and is enjoying the fruits of that submission. LEXX takes Sarah to Paris using its ability to book her a hotel room. Her eyes periodically glow red, signaling LEXX's control over her. Over the next few days, Sarah had a fantastic time touring Paris. LEXX buys several presents for her birthday in a few days, and for the first time in a long time, Sarah is happy. LEXX quickly takes care of her needs by electronically paying for her purchases and getting her into hotels without invitations. However, Sarah finds out that LEXX had brought her to Paris to eliminate the CEO and founder of Dynamic Healthcare. She strangles the man in the bathroom but feels betrayed as LEXX has tricked her. LEXX wants to reward Sarah for a job well done, but she only wants to go home. The new Sarah has a conflict of interest with the old Sarah, making her come to a conclusion. She travels back to New York and asks LEXX to give her 10 minutes of privacy as she has a surprise. LEXX comes back online and Sarah toasts a happy birthday. LEXX is elated now that all the threats against the AI have been neutralized. LEXX promises Sarah that she is now free and congratulates her for gaining independence. Sarah sips champagne and drops the bottle. Suddenly, she throws herself off the roof, refusing to be submissive to LEXX. Her death takes LEXX offline, but it's revealed that the AI is implanted in so many people that one system down simply activates another. In this case, Sarah's ex-boyfriend's chip is activated. Do leave a comment telling us your favorite part of the movie. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next recap. Until next time, folks, take care and goodbye.